Welcome into another edition of Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. As you see, we have some guests here, but we're going to talk some football. But when we come back, we're going to get to these guests here from Germantown Academy Field Hockey. Next on Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. Talking about one final thought. Let's get a big, bold prediction. Welcome back into Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein, and as you can see, we are joined by some guests to start things off. This segment is brought to you by PhiladelphiaHockey.com. From the Germantown Academy Field Hockey team, we have Colleen Carrigan, Maddie Cooper, and Hannah Santos. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you guys can make it. Now, listen, you guys have had a pretty good season so far. So we'll talk about your regular season first. 10-5, solid season. Interact, which is a very competitive field hockey league. So, Hannah, I'll let you talk about it. You're the goalkeeper. What did you see from the team in the regular season?
Yeah, we've had a great season. We've had a few ups and downs. Sometimes we don't play as ourselves, but overall we're a really strong team. We're really close. Sometimes after practice or games, we would go out to eat dinner, and that just makes us closer and play better the next day. Yeah,
well, certainly reaping some benefits in the playoffs. And Maddie had a nice win over Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, 4-1 in the quarters. Last year, you lost in the quarters to Agnes Irwin, and you're a senior, so I'm sure you were a part of that game. How great was it to get that win against SEH and move on in the PIAA state tournament?
Yeah, it's always a great feeling to just move on and obviously win. And SEH is always a very aggressive team, so our team goal is to just keep our composure and keep the intensity up, especially when we go up a few goals, to make sure we maintain our lead.
And you've got a very tough matchup in the semis against Episcopal Academy. I feel like it's EA and Academy Notre Dame pretty much every year in PIAA. But you guys gave them a game. I mean, you lost, 3-2 back on October 13th, which was at your home field, I believe. So, Colleen, I'll go to you on this one. Talk about this matchup with EA.
We always play our best with EA. I think we just know we can beat them, and it's our mindset that's always set really high. Like last game that we played against them, we were down 2-0, and then we came back and tied it 2-2, and then in the last 10 minutes we gave up a goal, but we all felt like we very dominated the game and we controlled it, so we're all just super pumped to get to play them again and come back and beat them. Yeah,
and that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
by the way.
yeah.
So, thank you for joining us here on the show with such a big game coming up. But that's great. I wish you guys the best of luck. I'm sure it's going to be a really good game. I mean, you lost 4-1 earlier in the year, and like you said, 3-2 close game. Yeah. So, it should be a lot of fun. So good luck in that game. Now, I wanted to talk to each of you about, kind of your individual accomplishments. And Colleen, I'll start with you. When Katelin from PhiladelphiaHockey.com told me about your career, and you started as a forward, then you went to a midfield. Now, this year, from what I understand, you're playing forward, midfield, and defense. Do you do it all at the same time? How does that happen?
No, depending on the game, depending what we need. If we want to EA, sometimes they start as a forward because we just want to come out there in the first 5 minutes and score. So I might start as a forward tomorrow, or sometimes we want to just keep our composure. So I'll start as defense. Just basically wherever they need me, they start me. Yesterday against SCH, I started as defense, moved up to forward, then they subbed me in for mid, and then they moved me back to defense to finish the game.
You're just all over the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's obviously three very different positions. So kudos to you doing whatever the team needs to win. So that's great. And you'll be playing field hockey at the next level, right? At Wesleyan. Talk about that. What went into that thought process and that decision? Yeah.
Well, I was looking at a lot of places. I was looking some D1. I was looking some D3. And I really wanted great academics, and Wesleyan has that, and none of their athletes seem limited in any way. Many are double majors, some are pre-med, so I really wanted that. And then when I visited campus the first time, it's just an incredible campus. like the center of campus, they have this baseball field right in the center, and it was a beautiful day, and everyone was outside playing, and it was just incredible.
That's
so
awesome.
I just wanted to go there.
Yeah, I tell you what, the college visits, those are huge. So that sometimes sells you. So that's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank
Now,
you.
Maddie, I know you're a little bit unsure of what you're doing after your senior year, but talk to us about that. You still have time. It's still only November.
Yeah, so I decided I'm not going to play field hockey in college, but I
Okay.
definitely want to stay active, and I've been playing sports my whole life, so it's really important to me to continue that. So I'm definitely going to play club, whatever school I end up going to, and just try to get involved in athletics there.
Now, looking at colleges, does that have some effect, like you're looking at the club team, or you're just kind of picking academics and then we'll see about the club team
Yeah,
later?
definitely focusing on academics,
Yeah.
and then the club is just like an extra bonus. And,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just figure that out.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever you do, I'm sure it'll be a good decision. So that, good luck to you there. And that's great to focus on academics because I think that's what Hannah has decided to do. She's going all the way across the country to Stanford, not only to play field hockey, but obviously to continue her education. Talk about that, and is it going to be tough for you to be so far away from home?
At first I was kind of hesitant to look beyond the East Coast, but then I finally emailed the coach saying, hey, you need a goalie? And she's like, sure. So I was like, cool. So I flew on over, and I was like, wow, California is really nice. So it was really nice. When I got a tour there, it was a perfect day. It was like low 70s. Like I don't know. It was California, but. I know a few people who are committed to Stanford, and they are the nicest people I know, and that really sold me because, I was really looking to like nice teammates, like good people when I'm there, and I was really excited because I was looking for like top-notch academics with like high-level field hockey too.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is perfect.
Well, you don't get much better than Stanford academics, that's for sure. Now, I know you're talking about the weather. Colleen, don't send Colleen pictures because she's going to be up in Connecticut at Wesleyan. You're going to be, studying outside in like January. It's going to be snowing up in Connecticut.
Probably.
So, and then we'll see where Maddie ends up. So maybe she'll be somewhere in between. So that's great. I mean, good luck with everything the rest of the season, obviously with your collegiate careers, but you guys wouldn't be here if it wasn't for PhilaFieldHockey.com. And we have a great partnership with them all through the fall, and I know they really look at not only high school field hockey, but also collegiate field hockey. If you were to play in this area, they do a great job of covering that. So, I'll let you guys kind of talk about what they do for the sport of field hockey and for you guys as student athletes, playing field hockey. So anybody can take that first.
I just think it's a good platform to stay connected with the sport and to just kind of get updates and see where other girls commit, and it's just a nice way to connect and have a place that you can go to check it out. So I think it's really nice.
Yeah, it's always really awesome when you get a reporter to come to your game, big games, and then you see your article on there, and you're like, oh, awesome! I made the paper. It's really great. And then our school shares it out, so everyone knows we did well.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, that's definitely good stuff, and we love partnering with them, and we've provided them with some video highlights for their game of the week this year. So we're happy to definitely be a part of that. But thank you guys for coming on. I know you have a big game, so I don't want you to lose focus or anything, but I hope that you're ready to go and take on EA. So again, Colleen Carrigan, Maddie Cooper, and Hannah Santos, thank you guys for joining us today from Germantown Academy.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we will focus on football next here on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hey you, Who, me?
Yes, you. You like pro sports?
Yeah,
You like college sports?
of course.
You like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Wednesday on Facebook Live at 7 p.m.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Welcome back into Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein. And again, a big thank you to the three members of from Germantown Field Hockey, courtesy of Philadelphia Field Hockey. And we wish the best of luck to the Germantown Academy Field Hockey team taking on a very good Episcopal Academy team. So, we want to move on from field hockey and into the realm of football. And we'll take a look at the brackets in just a moment. But I made some picks last week on these brackets and for the PIAA District 1. And I'll tell you what, I didn't do too bad. 15-1 overall between the two brackets. I picked on 16 games, 8 games in 6A, 8 games in 5A, went undefeated in 6A. I got every first round game right, and then in 5A, I got every game right except for one, and where I selected Strathaven. I selected Bishop Shanahan, but Strathaven got the victory. So I think I did pretty well. But again, you take a look at those brackets. Most of the higher seeds won. I picked basically all higher seeds except for Westchester Ruston in 5A as the 9 seed. Actually, that was the only lower seed that I selected. So only 2 lower seeds won with Strathaven and Ruston. So we want to take a look at the brackets, and we'll take a look at those right now in just a moment. These second round matchups are really we're looking at 5A right now. These second round matchups in 5A, we'll get to the ones in 6A, but 5A, I think, again, you're looking at chalk for the most part here. Springfield Delco should beat Westchester Ruston. Academy Park and Upper Dublin, I had Upper Dublin winning that game, but, Academy Park, they're at home, dominated Chichester. I would not be surprised to see Academy Park win that game. But I did pick Upper Dublin. I'm going to stick with them in the bracket. Upper Moreland, Marple Newtown. I've got Upper Moreland, and Unionville against Strathaven. I've got Unionville in that one. So for the most part, chalk, except the mini 5-4 upset for Upper Dublin beating Academy Park. But I still think Springfield Delco is the dominant team in this bracket. I still think Springfield Delco will ultimately win this bracket. But moving over to 6A now, and these are really where the second round matchups really look pretty fun. Neshaminy Pennsbury at the top. I've got Neshaminy winning that game, but Pennsbury almost beat Neshaminy last game of the year. So you take a look at that matchup, and I again, this can go either way, even though it's a 1 versus 8. But throw the seeds out the window here at this point, and especially because Neshaminy and Pennsbury are such big rivals. As are Coatesville and Downingtown East. Now, I have Coatesville winning that game, but Downingtown East, very capable of beating Coatesville. And again, just like the Neshaminy-Pennsbury game, Coatesville needed essentially a last-second touchdown to win the game, just like Neshaminy did over Pennsbury. Again, I've got Coatesville, but this one can go either way. And then on the bottom half of the bracket, I've got essentially 2 upsets. Penridge over Perk Valley. I've got the 7 beating the 2. Penridge easily handled Perk Valley during the regular season, so I think Penridge, who's playing very well right now, wins this game. Perk Valley actually almost lost to the 15 seed Penwood. That would have been a real big shocker. Penwood was actually up by, I believe, 20 points, and Perk Valley had to come from behind to win that game. The North Penn Garnet Valley game, rematch of last year's championship. I've got North Penn ultimately winning it all, so I obviously have them winning that game against Garnet Valley. So we'll see what happens, but I've got my picks out here for all these games, and it should really be a lot of fun to watch. Most of these games will be on Friday night. Now, we mentioned a couple of these teams, Coatesville and Downingtown East. We also mentioned Unionville in 5A, and our own Katelin Dropeskey had a chance to go out and talk to some of these coaches, and we will, I believe, hear from them in just a moment. Okay, we're actually going to take a break, and then we will hear from the Downingtown East head coach, Mike Matta, and the Unionville head coach, Pat Clark. That's next on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Pennsylvania is a big state, and there's great high school football action happening each week to discuss.
Let's deep. Got a man. Touchdown.
Join me, Richie Bleiweiss, and my fellow analysts, Corey Sharp and Mike Palmer, on In the Trenches on the Sports Fan Base Network. In the Trenches, the only show dedicated to all 12 PIAA districts in Pennsylvania, coming to you every Monday live on Facebook. Tune in for information, stats, analysis, and some great previews and predictions. Be sure to submit questions and comments using hashtag #InTheTrenches or comment live during the show. So be sure to watch In the Trenches on the SFBN for all you need to know about high school football in the Keystone State. I'm Richie Bleiweiss, reminding you, stay classy and be good to each other.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. You like pro sports?
Yeah,
You like college sports?
of course.
You like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Wednesday on Facebook Live at 7 p.m.
Welcome back into Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. I'm your host, Ari Bluestein, and we just talked about the District 1 brackets, and we got some big games coming up, and again, our own Katelin Dropeskey had a chance to catch up with a couple of the coaches out there in the Chester County area, talked to Unionville head coach Pat Clark and Downingtown East head coach Mike Matta. Unionville got the win in the first round over Glen Mills, and they're going to take on Strathaven, the number 11 seed, and then Downingtown East got the win over Owen J. Roberts, and they'll take on their big rival, Coatesville. So here they are, the coaches talking about their first round wins and their upcoming matchups on Friday night.
I thought our team played really well last week. We're fortunate to get the lead early. I think that they had trouble playing from behind. Our secondary guys did a good job eliminating the pass game. And then we're able to hit some big plays, and I think that once we got up, we fed off of that energy, and they really weren't able to get anything going. So overall, I was really pleased.
I think we performed real well. It's exciting to see our kids go out there. We got a lot of guys that got a chance to play, and we did a lot of good things. It was a fun game.
Well, they're a totally different team than what you see all year. They're a run-the-ball, control-the-clock team. And so we're going to have to, be ready for that different style. You don't see it much anymore. I think it's really effective. Strathaven's a team that doesn't make any mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves. We have to get them into pass downs, and get some stops. And if we can do that, I anticipate it's going to be a really good game.
We play Coastal, which we played them in Week 9. They're one of the better teams in the state. It's going to take our best effort, so we've got to play real well and play sound football and take care of the football.
I thought our team played really well last week. We're fortunate to get the lead early. I think that they had trouble.
Well, thank you very much to Unionville head coach Pat Clark and Downingtown East head coach Mike Matta for giving us some of their time. And thank you to Katelin Dropeskey for going out to those schools and talking to those coaches. We wish them the best of luck. Big matchup really for both teams to advance to the District 1 semifinals. Now, I'll get into my predictions. Of course, I made my bracket predictions, and you saw those earlier, so we'll check back next week to see how I did with those. But in the meantime, I also make predictions on some of the other games. And last week was my worst week making predictions. I went 3-3. Got both public league games wrong. South Philly ended up losing to Central. Central got the win in that one. And then Frankfort. This is somewhat of an upset with Mastery North beating Frankfort 6-3 at Frankfort's home field. Got West Catholic. They easily handled Bristol in that game. Malvern Prep beat Germantown Academy. Interact, Penn Charter knocked off Episcopal Academy and pretty handily. So I got that one wrong there. And then the one South Jersey game I picked, Cherokee defeated Williamstown. So overall 27-9, not too shabby. But this week we're going to make some more picks. So you have some very big games. We'll start in the city. Philadelphia Catholic League 6A Championship. LaSalle and St. Joseph's Prep. It's a rematch of a game that happened about 3 weeks ago on the Sports Fan Base Network. It was our game of the week on Friday night, October 20th. In that game, St. Joe's Prep won 28-14. And I feel like this Friday night, it will be the same result. I think St. Joe's Prep will win this game. I thought that LaSalle would be able to give them more of a game. I like the way LaSalle was playing this year. But St. Joe's Prep, once they got going, it was really tough to stop that offense. Now, LaSalle had that really bad interception on the goal line. We're hearing that LaSalle starting quarterback Selecki may not be available. Who knows about Isaiah Jones' availability right now? St. Joe's Prep, they've got the horses. They've got the men in the trenches, and I think that they're just really solid all around. Not to mention Jeremiah Trotter Jr. On defense at middle linebacker. So I think St. Joe's Prep will win and repeat as the Catholic League 6A champions. We'll go to the Public League. 4A championship between Bartram and Imhotep Saturday night, 6 p.m. at the, I believe it's at the Germantown Super Site, the Northwest Super Site. This is a very interesting game. Now, you have Imhotep, obviously, they are one of the best teams in the state. Bartram lost to Imhotep in the 4A championship last year. It was their only loss of the year, they had two losses last year, one of them to Gratz, the other one to Imhotep at the end of the year. This year, Bartram is undefeated. They started the year with a big win against Archbishop Ryan, 22-21, swept through the Public League competition. This is going to be their toughest game of the year. I would like to say Bartram could potentially win this game, but I'm going to pick Imhotep. Imhotep is obviously the safer pick here. They are definitely state title contenders. They're one of the best teams in the entire state. Their only loss was to Harrisburg at the beginning of the year, and Harrisburg is a very good 5A team, which should contend for that title. I just don't think Bartram has quite enough to get past Imhotep. Look, Bartram's got a great quarterback with Mahmoud Diabate, and they've got a great team. They've done great things this year. And I think they'd give them a game. And if Bartram wins, I would not be that surprised. It would be an upset that would send shockwaves throughout the state of PA. But I am going with the safe pick here. I'm going with Imhotep to win this game, although it'll probably be pretty close because Bartram has been waiting for this game all year long. All right, moving on to the District 112 sub-regional. Now, at the lower classifications, we'll start in 2A here. They combine the District 1 and District 12 teams. So the District 112 2A finals between West Catholic and Newman Goretti. Rematch of a game on September 30th, a game in which Newman Goretti won 20-6. Newman Goretti is undefeated. West Catholic, still a very good team. This game is going to be played basically on Newman Goretti's turf at the South Philly Super Site. And I'm going to give the edge to Newman Goretti in this one. I think Albie Crosby has done a great job with the Saints. I think ultimately they win. But again, it's another one where if West Catholic can win and they can get their offense going early against that tough Newman Goretti defense, I think the Burrs certainly have a chance to win this game. But I'm going with Newman Goretti in this one to stay undefeated. Again, in the District 112 sub-regional, 3A semifinal between Conwell Egan out of the Catholic League and New Hope Solebury, a suburban team who's had a great year. They've only had one loss this year, and it was to Conwell Egan. First game of the year back on August 25th, lost to Conwell Egan 55-28. Conwell Egan has had a 500 type year, but remember, they're playing in the Philadelphia Catholic League. They had to play Newman Goretti. They had to play West Catholic. And in fact, Egan kept it really close with Newman Goretti in the last game of the regular season on October 28th, lost 20-13. I'm going with Egan in this one. New Hope Solebury has had a great year. Nothing's taking that away. But they lost to Conwell Egan 55-28 early in the year. They've probably made strides, and we've seen them on our show In the Trenches, and I've seen some highlights. I've seen some games. They have a great quarterback. They have a great offense. I just don't think it's going to be enough to beat Conwell Egan. So I'm going with the Eagles in this game over the Lions. Now let's go to South Jersey, and this is the first week of the South Jersey playoffs, so it was really hard to pick two games to make picks on. But I picked two very interesting matchups for two different reasons. Let's start in Public Group 5. The number 8 seed is Vineland. They will go to the number 1 seed, Lenape. So now you're looking at, okay, 8 versus 1. Lenape, they have a really good reputation. They're obviously a very good team. They're definitely the team to pick here, right? Not necessarily. Both teams are 7-1. Vineland didn't lose till their last game of the year when they lost to St. Augustine 14-0. Somewhat of an upset there because St. Augustine is not as strong as they've been in past years. Vineland, their quarterback is going to Rutgers as a running back, actually, but he's going to Rutgers. The middle linebacker going to Maryland. This Vineland team is solid. They are underseeded, and they're going to win this game. I'm picking Vineland in the 8-1 upset to win at Lenape. Lenape is a great team. Their only loss was to Rancocas Valley, who's always a very good team. But Vineland, they're coming off a loss. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be mad that they're underseeded, and they're going to come in and pull off this upset. So Vineland is my pick. We go to Group 2 here in South Jersey, smaller schools. You've got the 6 seed Haddonfield at the number 3 seed Sterling. Interesting about this matchup is they played last week. Sterling beat Haddonfield 37-19 last week, and Sterling is 7-1. Only loss was a 34-33 loss to West Deptford, a very good team in South Jersey. That was back on October 6th. They haven't won a playoff game in 15 years. I think that ends on Friday. I think Sterling wins this game against Haddonfield. Haddonfield 5-3 on the year, but they lost to West Deptford 17-14 in overtime. In fact, I made a pick on that game. They're really big rivals. So you look at the records, 7-1, 5-3. It doesn't matter. I know Sterling crushed Haddonfield last week. This is going to be a close game. Much closer than that 37-19 game last week, but still, I'm picking the home team, and Sterling finally gets a playoff win for the first time in 15 years. So again, my selections: St. Joe's Prep, Imhotep, Newman Goretti, Conwell Egan, Vineland, and Sterling. So those are my selections, and we're going to take a quick time out. And when we return, we will wrap things up here on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Pennsylvania is a big state, and there's great high school football action happening each week to discuss.
Dropeskey, got a man! Touchdown!
Join me, Richie Bleiweiss, and my fellow analysts, Corey Sharp and Mike Palmer, on In the Trenches on the Sports Fan Base Network. In the Trenches, the only show dedicated to all 12 PIAA districts in Pennsylvania, coming to you every Monday live on Facebook. Tune in for information, stats, analysis, and some great previews and predictions. Be sure to submit questions and comments using hashtag #InTheTrenches or comment live during the show. So be sure to watch In the Trenches on the SFBN for all you need to know about high school football in the Keystone State. I'm Richie Bleiweiss, reminding you, stay classy and be good to each other.
Welcome back into Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me making all my picks, and we'll see what happens. It should be an exciting weekend of high school playoff football, both in PA and also across the bridge in South Jersey as they get going this Friday night. I want to thank everybody for watching. We got some great comments. Katelin, Lev, and Dawn, thanks so much for making comments and tuning in. I know we got a lot of a lot of comments coming in on the Germantown Academy field hockey segment. So thank you again to Colleen, Hannah, and Maddie from Germantown Academy Field Hockey. They did a great job here on Varsity Voice. In addition to our show here tonight, we have a lot of great things going on the Sports Fan Base Network. First off, we have our upcoming broadcast. We're going to wrap up our high school football broadcast season with a great matchup between Germantown Academy and Penn Charter. It's going to be a triple header right here on Facebook Live. 10 a.m. we've got boys soccer, 10:45 a.m. girls soccer, 1:30 p.m. football. Make sure you tune in for Germantown Academy and Penn Charter. PCGA Day doesn't get much better than that when you're talking about high school sports in the area of Philadelphia. We also have some other great shows, not only Varsity Voice, but if you liked my football predictions, make sure you tune into In the Trenches, hosted by Richie Bleiweiss and joined by analysts and co-hosts Mike Palmer and Corey Sharp. They break down football in the entire state of Pennsylvania, so make sure you tune into In the Trenches Monday nights at 7 p.m. right here on Facebook Live. We also have an all-PA soccer show called In the Goal, hosted by Steven Schreiber and joined by analysts Jack Kapp and Ryan Haney, the head coach of Archbishop Ryan Boys Soccer. Do a great job again of looking at the entire state of Pennsylvania soccer, and they're getting towards the end in soccer season. I believe the semifinals will be, scratch that, actually the quarterfinals are going to be played on Saturday. We just had the first round played on Tuesday, so they're really going to take a look at all the classifications across the state, both boys and girls soccer. So make sure you tune in. That's Thursday nights at 7 p.m., so that's right, tomorrow night right here on Facebook Live. Tune in to In the Goal. If you can't always watch our broadcasts or watch our live shows, we are now on iTunes. That's right, we have podcasts on iTunes. Make sure you subscribe and listen to the broadcast. Give us 5 stars if you like what you hear. Varsity Voice, In the Trenches, In the Goal. Our shows in Rhode Island are even on our podcast on iTunes. So make sure that you subscribe and tune in on the podcast. I know that I've found myself just in the car tuning in to the show that I've missed. I don't always get to watch In the Trenches or In the Goal because of my schedule, so I tune in the car through the podcast. So definitely a great feature. And then, of course, we have our website, thesfbn.com. You can get everything that I just mentioned, links to our broadcasts, our live shows, not to mention our great fresh content, our articles, our photos, our video highlights, our upcoming schedules, how you can find out about us if you're interested in interning, how you can intern with SFBN and be a part of everything that we're doing here with high school sports. So thesfbn.com. Go there right now. Check out what we are doing. So that about wraps things up for Varsity Voice presented by SFBN. Again, a huge shout out to Phila Field Hockey and the Germantown Academy Field Hockey team. Best of luck tomorrow in their big PIAA state semifinal matchup against Episcopal Academy. I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.